You mentioned yesterday being curious about some of the rule changes, whether it's the bigger bases, the pitch clock, no more shift. Which one are you most curious?
You know, the one that kind of caught me off is how different the bags look. I didn't think that inches would matter as much. That is, for people that have looked at bases their whole life, to see them out there different, it's a different look. It's even today covering first base, and some of the pitchers we're talking about a different feel and look going over to cover it. First basemen have been talking about a difference it makes. I think that may have a little more impact than I initially thought.
In what way?
It's just something that looks and feels so much different. Not so much, but different. You know, be like, you know, making the rubber bigger or the plate bigger. It's different. And when you're used to doing something for a lot of years, it's a different look. There's a lot of unknown about the shifts. I think we're all going to be fascinated by how that plays out. I asked a question about a hitter of ours yesterday in our meetings that everybody assumes that the lack of shift will help them. I said, do you think it'll help them or hurt them? You know, somebody that can handle the bat, you really almost wish they would shift, wouldn't you? So by not being able to shift, will that hurt them or help them? I've been thinking about that lately. The pitch clock is, you know, we're doing some things with drills today with that in mind, about signals that you're giving. For instance, first and third, first and second, trail runner, lead runner, infield depths. There's a lot of stuff that the catcher gives, sometimes infielders give, that you're going to have to speed up the process and figure out a way to do it quicker so you don't get charged. You know, you got X amount of time to do it in. So,
is there something that you might want to see them impart on some of the other guys like Miguel Peterson?
I think it just flows naturally more than anything. You know, like I found those things work better when at some point, you know, you listen, you watch, you listen, you watch. You don't sit there and pop your gums all the time. And sooner or later, a young player will ask them about something. And it's kind of like I remember we had a hitting coach years ago with the Yankees that I just told him, I said, listen, you may have a bunch of ideas about this guy and that guy and things you do to help them. I said, make sure they come to you first, because if you go to them and they don't get an instant return, sometimes you've lost them for a while. Sooner or later, they'll come to you and say, hey, what do you think? What do you see? And then it opens the door. I think Max and Justin are kind of from that cloth. They watch. You could tell they're watching. Max was just in my office. One reason I was a couple minutes late, he was going down the roster and just observances already. You know, he's a quick study. He enjoys that. And I keep kidding him about, I hope I can stay alive long enough to see him be a coach or manager. I said, I can't wait to wait. So I'm not doing I said, I got a lot of people tell me they're not going to do that. We'll see.
Why do you think he'd make a good manager?
He would. I mean, but he said he's not going to. He said, you understand, I've had my fourth kid. I said,
yeah, when you got a guy like Verb, what he can do, obviously he's still pitching at an extremely high level. You know, it makes your ball club better. And then obviously then it goes on from there, from what Steve and the front office did. They continue to make moves, you know, bringing in Singa as well, you know, Quintana. So as much as bringing in Bird, that really helps the road club. You know, we had a lot of free agents, and you know, we had to address a lot of different holes, and you know, bringing back Edwin as well. You know, a lot of you know, free agent moves on the pitching side for us, and that's what makes it exciting. Is that, you know, we got some new faces in here, but chance to kind of all blend it back together, and you know, got a good chance to really go out there and do something special this year. Yeah, it is exciting. I'm so lucky, course the course of my career, have pitched with such great pitchers. I'm lucky. From my time to Arizona to Detroit, to DC, with the Dodgers and here, pitching my entire career, I pitched with great starting pitchers. Pitched with Verb before. I've gotten to learn from him in the past, and it's really going to be interesting pitching with again. I know we pitched together for 5 years, but actually we've been apart for 8 now. And his experience is there in Houston. It's going to be real fun to start comparing notes and looking at how the game, because the game has evolved too since we've played together. Just different how swing passes change, and so kind of how we both see the game now. I mean, it's going to be real fascinating to see his mind on how he sees how you attack different guys and things that have worked for kind of each of us. Things that make him successful and things that make me successful, and see where things line up. I got some. I definitely have. I'm definitely been planning for it, gunning for it. I really feel like I'm gonna. It plays right into my hand. I've always wanted to work quick. The only reason I've never been able to work quick is because the hitter can always call timeout. So the fact that the hitter can only call timeout once in at bat, now I can actually dictate pace. Now I can actually force action. So for me, I'm gonna definitely like doing that. How it actually gets manifested into the X's and O's and how you're actually gonna go out there and do this. There's definitely gonna be a learning curve to it, but I think at the end of the day, I have a pretty good idea what I'm gonna be able to do. Yeah, I talked to him once he signed. I talked to him, FaceTime him, to be able to get, kind of. Just catch up and everything. Would love to pitch with him more. I think the world of him. When he's on the mound, and it's incredible what he can do. I've never seen anything like it. So, wish him nothing but the best. I think he's going to go out there and absolutely kill it. And that's the way I see it.